Air Canada and the union that represents 10,000 of its flight attendants came to a tentative agreement earlier this week that ended the 3-day strike of those flight attendants. The next step in this process now is for the members of the union, the flight attendants, to vote whether to ratify the deal. So the union, QP, has said that vote will start next week on August 27th. It'll run until September the 6th. So this contract does include salary increases. That's the first thing. There's a 12% increase this year for most junior flight attendants, as well as an 8% salary increase for the more senior members of the union. That goes up to around 3% next year in terms of the increase, and there's sort of incremental increases over the lifetime of this deal, which would be 4 years. The other major sticking point in negotiations was the issue of ground pay. Typically, for flight attendants throughout the industry in Canada, not just for Air Canada itself, flight attendants were not paid a wage for their time spent when the aircraft wasn't in the air. So during the time before a flight takes off, when they're boarding, when they're explaining the safety procedures, they weren't getting an actual wage. This negotiation and the resolution has changed that. So from now on, there will be some pay included. The union had said, we want our flight attendants to be paid for 100% of their time when they're not in the air. They didn't quite get that. What they got was 50% of their hourly wage rate will be paid to a maximum of 60 to 70 minutes. So that ends this notion of unpaid labor. It's not 100% of what they were asking for, but it's, as a lot of industry watchers have told me, it's a significant shift. 3 years ago, in 2022, Delta Airlines became one of the first airlines in North America to actually start paying their flight attendants a portion of wages when they're not in the air. And that structure is similar to what Air Canada and its flight attendants have agreed to. In Canada, professors that I've talked to who follow labor relations, who follow the airline industry, they say that Air Canada's new deal with its flight attendants has the potential to set a new precedent. We know that WestJet's flight attendants, they have a contract expiring at the end of 2025, so very soon. And there's the potential for them to, say to their employer, hey, Air Canada flight attendants are now getting paid for some time on the ground. We want to as well. So this could have some lasting effects and a ripple effect across the industry. An interesting caveat there is, unlike in a lot of situations where a strike ends and members then vote on the deal at hand, in this case, members are only voting on the wage portion of the actual deal. For instance, the issue of ground pay that we've been talking about, other improvements when it comes to benefits related to retirement and pensions, work-life balance provisions when it comes to rest requirements, vacation, those are actually finalized. So even if members of the union say we don't like this deal and the majority vote against it, those provisions, other than wages, are set in stone and will become part of the new collective agreement.